All right, good afternoon, my friends. This week in religion, we've been talking about Mary and the important job that she was asked to do by God. She was asked to be the mother of Jesus. And when she was asked with this question, we talked about it yesterday, she was probably confused, she was a little scared, but she knew in her heart that the answer that God was looking for was, yes, I will do it, God, because he believed in her. He knew that she was the right person to take on this job. So that's why he came to her. And we talked about how a time when we've been asked by our moms or our dads or our teachers or someone else to do something really important, it makes us feel good because we know that they trust us to do it. So we've been talking about Mary and how she was chosen to do that. Well, what does it mean to honor someone? Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today. Well, if you think about when we honor someone, we give them special attention for things that they've done, things that they've done for us, things that they've done for others. We give them special attention. We appreciate them. And sometimes we ask them to help us because we know that they're very good at what they do, and we appreciate that that's what they can do. As Catholics, we honor people who do what God wants them to do. So a lot of those are those special friends of God's called the saints. And today we're going to talk about how we honor Mary, because Mary is a perfect example of doing what God wanted her to do. He wanted her to say yes. He wanted her to raise Jesus as her child. So we honor Mary for saying yes. So what I'd like you to do is, in your religion books, I'd like you to open up to page 139 and 140. You can find that little story right there. Okay, so page 139 and page 140. Okay. All right, so I'll give you a second to go ahead and find that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to read that story together. Okay, so when you get to that page, 139, 140, if you need to pause me for a second to find it, go ahead. You know how to pause. And then start the video back up again, okay? All right, so I'm going to go because I'm assuming that you found the page now, okay? All right. Let's look at page 1. The title of our story, it says, and I'll hold mine up so you can see right where I am. It says, "We honor Mary." I'd like you to follow along as I read page 1, okay? Jesus told us that Mary is our mother, so people all over the world honor Mary. Mary is the greatest of all the saints. So we have all those saints out there, but Mary, she is the greatest of all those saints. Look at the little boy touching the statue on that table. Have you ever seen a Mary statue like that? I can tell you have, because we have one in our classroom, right up at the front of our room near the front door on that table, over where the Mr. Potato Head pieces are. That exact same statue of Mary is in our classroom, okay? So a lot of times we'll have statues of people that we want to honor. So you might see all different kinds of statues of Mary or pictures of Mary. If you think back to Monday when we started, we saw another painting of Mary, right? Artists all over the world make all different kinds of pictures of Mary and statues of Mary, because we all see Mary differently. You know how you've asked me before, what does God look like? What does Jesus look like? And I tell you all the time to make your pictures look how you see them in your mind, and everybody sees them differently. None of us met Mary, none of us met Jesus, and none of us have met God. So we truly have in our own head a vision of what they look like. My vision is different from your vision. Your vision is different from your brother or sister's visions and from your mom and dad's visions. That's the special thing about those. We see Mary and Jesus and God the way we picture them in our mind. So artists all over the world make different paintings of Mary. They make different statues of Mary because they want to have everyone get to see that there are all different visions of what Mary and Jesus and God look like. So on this page 1, they're all looking at that statue of Mary, which is the same statue we have in our classroom. All right. Where does it look like maybe they're honoring Mary there on page 1? Where do you think they might be honoring Mary in that picture? Maybe at a school. And if you think back last year when some of you were in pre-K, when we crowned Mary out on the blacktop, where we would have the statue of Mary. Actually, if some of you remember, Mike Cormick would bring it out. And then we would put a little crown on her head, okay? And I know we're trying to think about how we're going to do that this year during the month of May. Mrs. Johnston and the teachers are thinking about that. But what they're doing is they're crowning Mary. They're putting a crown of flowers on her head to honor her. So I'm thinking on page 1, maybe they're at school, okay? Let's look at page 2. Page 2, open up your book and open up to page 2. It says, we can honor Mary in many different ways. When we honor Mary, we honor Jesus too. Take a look at that picture. Where do you think they might be going with flowers for Mary? Look at those doors. Have you ever seen doors like that? Where have you seen doors like that? Maybe at church, right? So sometimes we have a May procession, and during the month of May to honor Mary, and we bring flowers and we put them up on the altar for Mary. Okay, so that's another way that we can honor Mary during the month of May. Okay, if you look at page 3, it says we honor Mary in our churches, right? Look at that beautiful statue of Mary. And what are they doing in front of that statue of Mary? They're lighting candles. Yes, during the month of May, a lot of churches will have candles and you can go light them in front of the statue of Mary. And look at page 4, okay? It says we honor Mary at home. Well, look at that picture of Mary on the wall and baby Jesus. Does that look like the picture that we looked at on Monday in our religion books? Nope, completely different. But is it still Mary and baby Jesus? It absolutely is. And then even take a look at page 4, that picture of Mary and Jesus on the wall, and look back at the statue of Mary on page 1. Okay, look at this picture on page 4, and then let's look at the statue on page 1. Do they look like the same Marys? They don't. That's the beauty of all the different statues and pictures of Mary. But the one thing that's always the same, Mary is beautiful however they're showing her on a statue, and in the pictures or paintings of Mary, she's always holding baby Jesus. So we know that it's called the Mother and Son, but it may look different because another artist drew it, okay? All right, so as we go into the month of May, starting next week, we're really going to be talking a lot more about Mary. We're honoring Mary because she did what God asked her to do. The beautiful thing about May is we're also honoring our mothers because our mothers do the right things too for us. So it's a really nice month to honor both Mary and our mothers. Now, I did send a Mary worksheet for you. So you should have a sheet that looks like this with Mary. And then there are 4 boxes underneath. And down below, it's just a little puzzle. You're going to trace these letters. You're going to cut them out. And then you're going to go ahead and put them in the right order underneath the Mary, and then you may color her in, okay? All right, now I will show you what mine looks like, but you're going to do it on your own. You may also trace the Mary with your blue crayon, okay? All right, have fun doing your Mary worksheet, and I will see you later. Good job, friends.